Hey there, my geometry cats. Today we are looking at 3.1b. And we're going to looking at parallel lines. Now, parallel lines and their what makes them special? What makes them special? Okay. So now, before we talked about two lines being cut by transversal, but now we're going to say that these lines that are being cut are parallel to each other. Now, when they're parallel to each other, some special properties come up. For example, corresponding angles. So like these two angles right here would be corresponding. If they're parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. Right? And look at them. If they look the same, they probably are. Something else neat that comes up. Alternate interior angles, so this angle and this angle are also congruent. Alternate exterior angles, these two, right, are also congruent. But now, same side interior, so these right here, same side interior, those are not congruent. You can even tell one's obtuse and one's acute. But what's interesting is they are supplementary. Remember, that means they add to 180 degrees. Okay? So supplementary, they add to 180 degrees. And same thing with my exteriors. If I add up my consecutive exteriors or my same side exteriors, they are also supplementary. Or apt to 180. Now, you go back in a time machine and remember in Unit 1, it's like I'm going to redraw this. It's getting real messy over there. So I have parallel lines crossed by transversal. Also recall, vertical angles are congruent. Like these two are congruent. And these two are congruent then. So all four of these angles, all my big angles are congruent. Either by vertical or alternate interior or alternate exterior. And then all my little angles are going to be congruent by either vertical, alternate interior, alternate exterior. Okay. Now, what's neato about that is all my big angles plus my little angles are going to add up to 180. By the way, do you guys like my shade today? I think it's pretty nice. Alright. So all my big angles plus my little angles equals 180. And that's because they're supplementary for same side interior, they're supplementary for same side exterior, and then the other ones form a linear pair. Like look at it, this red and this orange angle make a line. And a line adds up to 180 degrees. It's pretty warm. Alright. We're gonna keep on trucking. Let's do example number 1. Lots of writing, but it's good. It's good. So now we have to say is each angle pair congruent or supplementary? So let's look at 3 and 5. So 3 and 5, well, they're both acute, so they're probably going to be congruent. But why? So they're congruent because they're alternate interior, and we know alternate interior angles are congruent. That's a theorem. Okay. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Let's look at 1 and 8. So we're looking at 1 and 8. Now I have a little and a big. So right away I'm going to know they're supplementary. Why though? They're on the same side of the transversal, right? They're on the same side, so they're consecutive. And they're exterior. And we know that consecutive exterior angles are supplementary. Lots of abbreviations, guys, sorry. Or they have to 180. That's the same thing by definition of supplementary. Alright. Let's look at 2 and 6. I got a lot of nice fall colors here. Let's use brown. I don't think it'll really change. So we have 2 and 6. Now 2 and 6 are both up 2, so I already know they're going to be congruent. But now let's give the theorem 1. Upper right on this line, also upper right on the other line. So they're corresponding. Too many crickets. It won't let me erase. Haha, broke the system. Yellow. Whatever, let's try it. 1 and 7. It's kind of greenish yellow. That's gross yellow. So let's look at 1 and 7. 1 and 7 are both acute, and they're alternate exterior, so they will be congruent. Everyone's squinting at their phone right now. Mr. Twilliger, why are you doing this to us? Let's look at 4 and 5. So these are on the same side. One's big and one's little. They don't look congruent. If they don't look congruent, they probably have to 180. So these are going to be supplementary because they are consecutive or same side interior. They're in between the two parallel lines. And consecutive angles are always supplementary. Whatever, you don't need to write that. They're consecutive interior angles, and we know consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Let's look at 3 and 7. 3 and 7 are corresponding. They look the same. They are the same. Well, they're not the same, but they have the same measure. So they're congruent by corresponding. Looks like that one was. 5 and 6 now. Look at 5 and 6. They're on the same line. They form a linear pair, right? They form a line. If they form a line, they're supplementary because they're a linear pair. If two angles form a line, they add up to 180, and hence they are supplementary. This pen. And 2 and 4. So 2 and 4 are vertical angles, right? And vertical angles are congruent. All right, I got 1 more minute. Pause if you need to. Let's do this beast. All right. So now we're going to find the angle measure. Angle 1 is 65. Well, right away, if angle 1 is 65, then angle 3 is going to be 65 because they're vertical. Actually, I'm just going to write that here. If angle 1 is 65, then angle 7 is 65 because they're alternate exterior. If angle 1 is 65, angle 5 is 65 because they are corresponding angles. Do you see all the ones that are equal? It's a pattern. Let's use purple. Is that purple? So now angle 2. These two angles have to add up to 180. So I know that's 115 degrees. Let me check and make sure. Because they form a linear pair. And now angle 4 and angle 1 also have to have 115 degrees because they form, well, you could either say they're vertical angles, they're vertical with 2. I'm going to put that, they're vertical with 2. Can we do that once we know angle 2? Why not? There's multiple ways to show it. You could have said they form a linear pair with 1, or they form a linear pair with 3. 6 is also going to be 115 because of so many different reasons. But I'm going to say it's because of alternate interior with 4. And lastly, angle 8. Well, 8's vertical with 6, or it's linear with 7, or it's linear with 5, or it's alternate exterior with 2. Let's do that one. It's 115 because it's alternate exterior with 2. Why not? Alright guys, sorry that video was a little bit longer, but there's a lot to it. We'll do some more examples in class. I hope you learned something. I hope you have a great day.
Afternoon tech